Welcome to this week's episode of Safety Brainiacs. Today we're discussing the real cost of a workplace incident. I recall I was helping an employer develop their safety system quite a long time ago. I asked them what was the cost of damages to equipment or machinery or physical loss that they'd want to consider the threshold for reporting. And they claimed the number was $5,000. And I was quite astounded because as a safety professional, we know that the real cost of an incident is anywhere between 8 and 36 times the typical insured cost. So that this client said, if it's $5,000 or less, don't worry about it, not realizing that $5,000 loss of, a vehicle that needed repair, etc., the actual real cost of that was probably $50,000 or more. So let's think about that. Say you have a skilled worker, a skilled tradesperson who has a fall off a ladder and breaks their ankle. There was a study done by the Stanford University Department of Civil Engineering, and they reported that the cost of a fractured bone is actually $50,000 when you consider both the direct and the indirect costs. So what are the direct costs? Well, they're the insured costs. So that might be things like the injury itself, maybe the cost of medical care. But the things that weren't considered that would be more the indirect costs might be worksite downtime as the result of that worker being injured. It could be machine, tool, or product or material damage. So in the course of this incident, maybe there was damages to the area or whatever tools or equipment that worker was holding. Obviously, production delays. Can you imagine the cost of a stop work order? Typically after a serious incident, there's often a stop work order placed on that project or that work site. So when a workplace is issued a stop worker, you still have to pay all your workers, even if you've had to send them home for the day. There's also going to be production delays. There's going to be a tremendous amount of management time talking to workplace safety and health, talking to WCB, speaking with the injured worker, getting the incident investigation done, having your safety committee investigate, talking to the regulator, dealing with your improvement orders, etc. And not to mention your fines if you do get administrative penalties, etc. The other things that you have to consider about for indirect costs are, what about rehiring and replacement costs? What about the lost opportunity cost? If you have an electrical worker, for example, or a pipe fitter, and you're charging that worker out at $90 or $100 an hour, you can't be charging that out anymore. So these are all the things that must be considered when you're looking at the real cost of a workplace incident. In another study that was done, this one is done by OSHA and the National Council on Compensation Insurance, their findings found that a simple medical-only claim of $500 for a single employee incurs a cost of around $2,250. And at a 3% profit margin, it would require over $91,000 in sales to recover the cost for that injured employee. Looking at this another way, organizations that actually had implemented and been able to pass an audit of a formal safety management system, 42% lower total injury rates, 47% lower time loss injury rates, 37% lower injury costs per worker from claims reported to the WCB, 49% fewer work days taken for time loss injuries. So for you to be able to determine the real costs of a workplace incident, you can click the link below. It'll take you to our free resources page where you can download that cost calculator. In summary, responsible organizations, they assess their operations and their processes, they understand their risk, they implement control measures to eliminate those risks, they obtain good advice and follow it. So a serious incident these days can put an operation out of business. We haven't even talked about the legal penalties. Having a serious incident is not bad luck. It's bad and negligent management, to be straightforward. It's all preventable. If you have questions, you can always obtain a free consultation with a safety professional here at One Life Workplace Safety Solutions. That's this episode of Safety Brainiacs. Remember, a safety brainiac is an exceptionally intelligent person. So go out there and make smart safety choices so you and your coworkers all go home safe at the end of the day and your business is viable and profitable.